Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Chandrabotics, and guess what we are going to make today? Yes, a drone. The materials needed to make the drone are all available in sites like Flyrobo, Flipkart and Amazon. We are available offline as well. However, the online links will be given in the description below. Here we will be using APM flight controller to make our drone. The other materials needed will be 430 ampere ESC, 4 brushless DC motors, M8N GPS plus compass module, 4 propellers, drone frame and landing gear, LiPo battery and APM power module. At first we are going to make the frame of the drone using screws. Now, if you see any kind of plug attached to the wires of the ESC, we are going to remove them as we are not going to require them to make our drone. We will directly attach or solder the red and black terminals to the positive and negative terminals respectively. So some things about ESC. What does ESC do? ESC sends signal to the motor regarding at what RPM it should run. So, we are going to control the speed of our 4 brushless DC motors using our ESC. The full form of ESC being Electronic Speed Controller. So now we will attach the 4 ESC in the same way, red to the positive and the black to the negative. Now it's time to connect the APM power module. If any connector is present at the head, we will remove it and directly solder it with the frame. Similarly, here also we will connect the red one to the positive terminal and the black one to the negative terminal. Now these are the 4 brushless DC motors. Please note that it is written 1400 kV. It is actually the rating of the motor, but kV here doesn't mean kilovolt. It means for every 1 volt supply, the motor will run at 1400 RPM in no load condition. And yes, it does rotate at a very high speed. And it is controlled by obviously the ESC. Now we are going to fit the motors to the frame. Yeah, like this. Since there is no inbuilt GPS module in our APM, we are going to use external GPS module. M8N GPS plus compass module. This is the GPS module stand which we are going to connect now. Now why is the stand required? Because the signals from the APM hugely affects the GPS module and the compass module. So the purpose of the stand is just to increase the distance. So we will mount the GPS module to the stand like this. Now while doing this, one thing must be kept in mind, that this arrow mark which you can see on the screen should be towards the front of our drone which we are going to make. Now this is APM 2.8 flight controller. You can also call it the brain of the drone also, because it determines the individual speed at which the motors should rotate to make the drone stable. That is, it helps to stabilize our drone. There are a number of sensors in this, like the barometric sensor, the accelerometer, gyroscope, compass, etc. Now these are the various ports like input pin, output pin, GPS port, APM power module pin, the telemetry pin. We'll go into the details later. Now these are actually some jumper module sets which we will use to connect the APM to the receiver module. Now this thing in my hand is actually a shock absorber. Now, as I mentioned, there are a lot of sensors in this APM, which are affected due to the vibrations actually, and we don't get a stable flight. For this reason we will need this shock absorber. Now these kind of shock absorbers are available in online, but well, I didn't get one, so I have made it myself, so that the least amount of vibration can reach our APM and the drone works perfectly. Now let's attach this shock absorber on the top of a drone and then also the APM using tapes on the both sides. Now we are going to connect the 3 ports of the motor to the ESC. There is no definite rule as such, as you can attach or connect any port to any port. But in case you want to reverse the direction of rotation of any motor, you just need to reverse any of the 2 wires and the rotation will take place in the opposite direction. Like this, we are going to connect all the 4 motors to the respective ESC one by one. Now we are just going to attach the 4 ESCs using tapes to the frame. Now we are going to connect the receiver module to the input pin of the APM. See here, 1 to 6 channels are present. We will need a minimum of 5 channels to control the drone. See here also, 1 to 8 it is written here. We are going to need 1 to 5. Now if we hold like this, the connection should be first of the pin 1 of APM to the first of the pin 1 of the receiver module. Yeah, like this. Pin 2 to the corresponding pin 2, third to third, and like this up to 5. See the connection carefully. Now the other jumper modules we are going to connect like this. See very carefully this part, how we are going to utilize. In this case we have 6 pins, so you are going to utilize all of them. However, a minimum of 5 is required to control the drone. Now we are going to connect the ports of the GPS plus compass module. You can clearly understand where to attach it, where to connect it, as it is clearly written GPS. Now see the other one, you can connect it to the I2C or the one just below the GPS. We are going to connect it to the just below the GPS only. Now the power module, where to connect? See here it is written PM over here. This is the place where to connect. Now we are going to connect the 4 signal wires of the ESC to the APM. See this yellow wire, or it can be white as well. Here we have the output pin of the APM. The ones just above it are the signal pins. So we should connect in a way so that the white or the yellow wire is connected to the upper part. See the markings on the screen 1, 2, 3 and 4. Like this we are going to connect the 4 signal wires. Now just to remind you that the arrowhead should be pointing towards the front of the drone. It is very important. Now time to connect the propellers. There is a definite rule to do this. The vertically opposite propellers should rotate in the same direction. Please see the image on the screen and you will understand which motor should rotate in which direction. We should connect the propellers accordingly. And while it will rotate, we will understand in which direction air is being drawn into. Remember, air should be drawn from the upper side to the lower side. Then only the drone will fly, isn't it? Now we'll connect the battery. It is a 3-cell LiPo battery, 2200 milliampere. However, a bigger one will give us better flight time, obviously. And always recharge your battery using this B3 balanced charger, because it charges all the individual cells individually. This is how to connect to charge the battery. So what I was saying is that a bigger or a better battery will give us a better flight time, but it's not always the case, as it depends on the capacity of the drone as well. So every motor has its own capacity to take the battery. Time to mount the battery on the drone. This is actually a port which I have made myself, because the ports on the APM Power module head and the battery are actually different, and we need to connect those two. So I just made it accordingly. In case you are not able to make this one, remember the port we have eliminated from the ESC? Just attach it to the power module. This is LiPo battery voltage checker. This will help us to know the voltage in each cell of the 3-cell battery. Never discharge your battery completely, because if it happens, then it will be very difficult to recharge the battery actually. It becomes non-rechargeable and your battery becomes a wastage. Whew. Now finally it's time for programming. For this we will need to install APM supported software like Mission Planner or Quadcopter. The links will be given in the description again, and you will be able to download the links very easily. Now we'll connect the APM to the laptop using USB. Better if we use a longer USB. After connection, we will need to go to Initial Setup Wizard, select Quadcopter, Axle Calibration. Then first we are going to place a drone on the ground and click on Calibrate Axle here. Now tilt it to the left and click on Click when done. Similarly, tilt it to the right and click on Click when done. Then place it in like this in nose down position and click on Click when done, followed by 2 other positions. The first one is the nose up position and then upside down position, finally in upright position once again. Now it's time for compass calibration. Click on live calibration. Now we'll need to rotate our drone in different directions like this. Then you'll see the dots on the screen surrounding the axis. They will get connected with each other. You just need to rotate this like this, and the software will automatically collect all the samples it needs, and the compass calibration will be completed. Let's click on OK now. Next, radio calibration. Switch on the transmitter. Switch on and off all the switches completely. Up, down and rotate like this. On completion, click on Click when done. It's done. We are not going to require the other calibrations. Now see this flight modes, we are not going to change much here. Maybe I'll show you how to use the other modes in a different video of mine later. For now we are keeping all of them in stabilized condition. Now we will do ESC calibration. For that, at first set the throttle of the transmitter to full. Keep it like that and connect the battery of the drone. Wait for 4 to 5 seconds. And then release the battery connection. Now set the throttle to extreme down, reconnect the battery. You will see all the ESCs are sounding simultaneously, and that completes our ESC calibration. This is mandatory because if you don't do it, the motors will not start at once together. User will send the signal through transmitter that will reach APM through the receiver. APM will process that and control the motors via the ESC. Yeah, our drone is now ready for a flight. So let's see. If all the calibrations are done perfectly, then there is no chance that the drone won't fly perfectly. First try it in local small areas, and once you gain confidence, try it anywhere. Now let's take some drone shots. Let's try to take some. You can use small action camera or mobile camera also to take these shots. Now since I don't have a professional one, I'm going to use a mobile camera only. Maybe the shots won't be clear enough, not good enough, but not bad enough also. So let's try. We need to mount it on a mobile holder like this. Yes. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you have liked it, please hit the like button and share it as much as possible, and do let me know any kind of feedback or any kind of suggestion by the comments. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet now, do subscribe it and hit the bell icon also to get the latest updates immediately after the upload. Thank you very much everyone.